break it so when you write it.
दो था क्लास मीटिंग कर रहा है वहाँ पे मीटिंग मीटिंग है
क्लास छोड़ के मीटिंग
देख लें आपको जाके बताना पड़ेगा उसका
ऊपर है नीचे है
लेकिन खड़ा था बहुत class.
This Dhamma is because of our Yamaha. Yet is one.
We waited 15 minutes for the class.
That's a professor who published it. Well, there is a suggestion. Okay, guys, there is a suggestion. He said 15 minutes, we come with this form.
Everybody walks out.
Yeah, that's what he said.
We gonna lose. We are gonna lose. He doesn't know.
No, because he should see many people, they have something to work on this.
We will talk about that. That's a problem.
Because there they go to work, should go have dinner before they go to bed. So, a lot of things. So, also, this is what I
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين Inshallah we are going to continue inshallah the hamazat, the topic of hamza inshallah. So we have been talking about the hamzat al-qat', and I think we covered most of the hamzat al-qat', and we are going to continue today inshallah the grammars when hamzat al-wasl comes to on top of hamzat al-qat', or like when hamzat al-qat' comes before hamzat al-wasl, or the otherwise hamzat al-wasl comes before hamzat al-qat'. And inshallah then after that we will try to cover hamzat al-wasl completely. So the last topic that we spoke about, let me erase it and ask you some questions. So first question, Umayr. Read this, number 4.
يقول أذلي
Continue.
يقول
This is like hamzat wasl.
يقول أذلي.
Do not stop. Jump to the hamza directly from the lam.
يقول
Listen to,
يقول إذن
huh?
يقول إذن
No. One more try.
يقول أذلي.
No.
يقول إذن
Fix it. يقول.
إذن
That's that.
إذن
Yalla, read it one more
يقول
time.
إذن
One more time.
يقول إذن
That's 90%. Anu.
يقول أذن لي.
That's good. One more time.
يقول أذن لي.
Huh?
يقول أذن لي. يقول أذن لي. يقول أذن لي.
You're not saying the dhamma.
يقول إذن
You see, that's right. The first one was wrong. Brother Qadni, how do you say that? يقول ذلي. يقول ذلي. The question for you, Umar. I stopped right here. ومنهم من يقول. How do I start?
أذلي.
If I want to start and you want to explain it to me, I don't know how to start. What should I do? Can you tell me the grammar for this sentence? If I stop after the lam and I want to start from here, what should I do? You have two words here, 1 and 2. Can you explain the first one?
أذلي.
Explain the grammar. What should I do? How I came from somewhere like that. I know nothing. So you tell me, what should I do? How to get it ready to be ready to for pronunciation?
أذلي.
What's the grammar? Tell me. How do you fix this word? He stopped here. What do you do with this word before you say it?
We change that alif to أذلي.
Let me see. Maqsad, can you see, or if you want
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So, can you tell me what's the grammar for this word?
The case of
Yeah, this word specifically, because we have only four examples in the Quran.
إذلي.
So, you stopped here. What do you do with this word? What do you do with it? Can you explain it to me? So if I face any other word like this one in the Quran, I should apply the grammar that you are going to tell me.
Okay, so first you check Hamza if it's sukun.
I check the Hamza if it's
If
sukun,
it's sukun,
okay?
and then you check Hamza al-wasl if it's sukun.
Hamza al-wasl is sukun and the Hamza is sukun.
Yeah.
But that's impossible.
What?
They can't be like two sukuns. Sukun and sukun. They don't
Yeah.
meet.
Yeah. But you check the
This Hamza is called what? Hamzat what?
Hamza al-qata,
Hamzatul qata.
Yeah.
Perfect. And this Hamza?
Hamza al-wasl,
Okay, so I check which Hamza.
Hamza al-qata.
Okay, what do I check with it?
If it's sukun.
Okay,
And
sakina.
if it's sakina, then you apply if the letter is from mad, right? You apply it to if it's ya, it's gonna be kasra. If it's alif, it's gonna be fatha. If it's waw, it's gonna be dhamma. So you apply accordingly.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask Aba Adam. Explain this.
When you start to change the Hamza al-qata to harf mad, similar to the haraka on the letter of the Hamza al-wasl.
Uh-huh.
So even. Because you replace the Hamza al-qata, that is sakina, with harf mad, and that harf mad had been similar to the haraka on the Hamza al-wasl.
Hamzatul wasl. The sound on Hamzatul wasl. Evenly. If you start with it, evenly. And let me sentence number 1. Ahmad. I stopped at the word alladhi. How do I continue? What's the grammar?
Grammar is you look at the Hamza and Sakina.
Which Hamza? Because we have two
The
Hamzat.
letter that has a Hamza Sakina.
We have two Hamzat.
After Hamzatul Wasl.
So say it. We have Hamzat al-wasl and Hamzat
And
al-qata.
Hamza Sakina, the second Hamza.
Okay.
Alright, so I just, this is Hamzatul Qata, right? So I replace it with the, one of the letters of the Qad that is similar to the sound on Hamzatul Wasl.
If you
Similar to
continue,
the haraka
right?
Alladhi tumina.
Alladhi.
Alladhi tumina.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be Udu.
Utumina. Perfect, mashallah. Alladhi.
Alladhi
Tumina. So when I start from here, I say Utumina without Hamza.
Yes.
Utumina. And here,
What is the haraka on the Hamza al-wasl? There is no haraka.
the sound, not the haraka.
So
When you continue, the sound of the Hamzatul
what's
wasl.
the haraka?
Yeah, based on the sound, if you continue. Alladhi. Alladhi. The sound, remember like when I
But
told you,
think we
you
wrote it
fr-
like the haraka.
Yeah,
When we wrote it
you-
down.
you said it's
haraka.
haraka.
when you continue, yeah, the sound of the haraka. The sound of the haraka, when you continue. Remember like when I said, every time you recite, you have to move your mouth. When you move your mouth properly, you feel each haraka. Like, you know, the dhamma, kasra, fatha, alladhi. Automatically, naturally, it comes. فَلْيُؤَدِّي الَّذِي. Before I even finish the word alladhi, my mouth is making dhamma. The end of the word. Automatically, my mouth is making dhamma. So that shape, that sound, the dhamma, it's the sound of Hamzatul Wasl. So based on that sound, when you continue, if you start, you replace the whole thing. You replace this thing. You eliminate that. You put like wow, and I don't want to explain that all over again. Huh? You eliminate this thing completely, and then that sound alladhi. Oh, that's wow. Utumina. Right away. So, I don't want to spend so much time on this because we explained it last time, and we are going to study, inshallah, a new topic with the hamazat. We need to cover the hamazat, inshallah. You are going to be professionals in hamazat. As I said, يعني subhanallah, al-hamza, it's the toughest and hardest topic in Quran, and also in Arabic.
It's confusing.
Al-hamza, it's the toughest topic in Arabic also. Those smart like people like, you know, shu'ara, sometimes they're stuck in writing down some words if the word has a hamza. Because يعني, the hamza, it's really critical. And today, inshallah, the topic we are going to cover tonight, it's also the hamza. دخول همزة القطع على همزة الوصل في الأفعال.
So what is that? Questioning?
Huh?
The
Questioning.
question.
Questioning.
Question.
Huh?
Ask you.
Is that questioning?
Questioning.
Yeah? Asking?
Questioning.
Asking, right?
Yes.
Like asking?
Yes.
Okay, so there's
There's
a
an
misspell.
S.
Q-U-E-S-T.
Q-U-E-S-T.
Yes.
Q.
U-E. Instead of A, you put E. Yes, yes.
Want some water, Sheikh? Want some water?
جزاك إن شاء الله. جزاك الله خير.
Want some?
Yes, I think there's a problem with my throat. ضربتني عين يمكن.
From Isha prayer was, mashallah, was too
That's called Hijaz Ka. I want you to, if you're done, some of you are done, you can just like read that carefully. We have in Arabic something is called Hamzatul Istifham. Hamzatul Istifham. Istifham means in Arabic questioning. Or like, you know, wondering. Like that. Are you serious? You're not looking for an answer. An istifham in Arabic, you're not looking for an answer. Like when you tell me something, let's go right now and let's go to Auckland and we will come back within 10 minutes. Are you serious? I'm not actually asking you to give me an answer. I know the answer, it's impossible. But I'm just like wondering, are you serious? That's called Hamzatul Istifham. You see that? So Hamzatul Istifham in Arabic, you're not 100% asking for looking for an answer. Like, right? You tell me, let's go to Auckland and come back within 10 minutes. I know it's impossible, but if I tell, are you serious? It looks like a question. The formality, like, you know, if you write that, are you serious? That's a question. But are you looking for an answer? No. You already know the answer. If you answer me, that's okay. If you don't answer me, I already know the answer.
It's istinkar.
استفهام واستنكار. نعم. So it's just استفهام. تفيد النفي. إنه أنا أنكر هذا. Like I don't think it's possible. So the type of hamza we have in Arabic, hamza. When you say, are you serious? In Arabic, you start that with hamza. And that type of hamza is called the questioning hamza, or istifham, wondering hamza. Yes.
But you write Hamza Kata.
It is a type of al-qata'. It falls under the category of al-qata' hamzat. So al-istifham, hamzatul istifham, it's one type of hamzatul qata'. Okay? So you will see hamzatul qata', the whole hamzatul qata'. When hamzat qata' comes before hamzat wasl. And then we started with hamzat al-istifham, the questioning hamza, or the wondering hamza. Why? Because this type of hamza, it's under the qata', because you write it and you pronounce it. So it falls under that category. Okay, so we're done. So what's the grammar here? The rule is hamzatul qata', the questioning. If this type of hamza, which is also hamzat qata', comes before, so anyways, any hamza that you write and you pronounce, it's hamzat qata'. So hamzatul istifham, the questioning hamza, it's hamzat qata'. If this hamza comes before the hamzat al-wasl in a verb, this is very very important. Do not mix the verb and the noun because we are going to discuss them differently. In a verb, you eliminate and then leave the hamza al-wasl. You erase that. In writing and reading, you don't pronounce it, you don't write it. If hamzatul qat' comes before hamzatul wasl in a verb, and then you just keep hamzatul qat'. So I put here some 4 examples here. These are the only examples that you will see in the Quran. And you will, يعني subhanallah, any other example falls into these examples, inshallah. So if you look at the first word, if you can, if you can open Surah Saba, ayah number 8. Surah Saba, ayah number 8. Keep your phone on the table so we can check some ayahs. Ayah number 8, Surah Saba. Can you read it out loud with Abu Hafid with Tajweed? Beautiful Tajweed. يلا بسم الله.
أفترى على الله كذبا أم به جنة.
Can you hear him, Yusuf? Can you hear Abu Hafid? He can't hear you.
أفترى على الله.
Read the previous ayah.
What was the number of that?
Ayah.
Which
Surah
ayah?
Saba ayah.
Seven.
Ayat 8.
Yeah. وقال الذين كفروا هل ندلكم على رجل ينبئكم إذا مزقتم
ينبئكم
إذا مزقتم كل ممزق إنكم لفي خلق جديد أفترى على الله كذبا أم به.
Stop right there. Aba Adam, read that out loud with Tajweed.
From 7 or
From 7.
وقال الذين كفروا هل ندلكم على رجل ينبئكم إذا مزقتم كل ممزق إنكم لفي خلق جديد أفترى على الله كذبا أم به جنة.
حسبك. Basically, أفترى على الله كذبا. This type of hamza that you see at the beginning of the word أفترى. Do we have an hamza here? We don't have an hamza there. But do you see an hamza in the mushaf?
No.
You see the hamza, subhanallah. How come? So, this hamza, this type of hamza, hamzatul as-su'al, al-istifham, the wondering, the questioning, it always comes as a second sentence, as يعني the, like, kind of a reply, or like, a result for something. أفترى على الله كذبا. It came as a result for ayah number 7. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is responding to those who said, أعيد الآية أبا آدم.
أفترى على الله.
No, the ayah number 7.
وقال الذين كفروا هل ندلكم على رجل ينبئكم إذا مزقتم كل ممزق.
حسبك. Translate that. Al-Kuffar, Al-Kafirin, they're actually mocking the Prophet.
This believer said, shouldn't we tell you about a man who is giving you a news that if you become like pieces, that you will be the new creation.
Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to them, Aftara, do you think he's lying? He's making this up? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually responding to their statement. Do you think this prophet is making this message up? He's making it up? He didn't come from me. I didn't send the messenger, this messenger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually responding to them with the same thing. Aftara ala Allahi kadhiban am bihi jinnah. He's not looking for an answer from the kafirin. So, you see that word, aftara has what? Hamzatul qata'. You see it. But here, the original verb, these are all verbs. They don't have hamzat qata'. They all have hamzat wasl, all of them. if you write this, if you put like a note, this is like the original verb. And the original verb doesn't have Hamzat Qat. Hamzat al-Qat, you see it written down. But this one, you don't see the Hamzat al-Qat. You see only Alif. Okay? And so this is the, and also the Hamzat al-Wasl starts with Kasra, if you noticed. Hamzat al-Wasl always starts in the verb with Kasra. There are some exceptions, we will talk about those. Iftara, I'm not asking. Just a verb. Huwa iftara alayya. Iftara alayya. He made that up. He made it and he made me look bad. Like he's the one who did it and he pretended that I'm the one who did it. Iftara. The iftara in Arabic, like the verb in Arabic means like, you know, he made something horrible, not real, and he placed it on me. And I didn't do that. I didn't commit that mistake or that crime. He did it and he placed it on me. That means like iftara. Iftara is just like a verb. Ittala'a, it's a verb. If you open ayah, Surah Maryam, ayah 78. I think so. Maryam, ayah 78. Surah Maryam, ayah 78. If you can you read that, Sister Imad? The ayah before, start 77.
أفرأيت الذي كفر بآياتنا وقال لأوتين مالا وولدا أطلع الغيب أم اتخذ عند الرحمن عهدا.
حسب. أعد هذا أبا آدم. Read it and make me feel the question, the wondering, and also the statement. Question, that's a سؤال. Make me feel with the مقامة. أفرأيت
الذي كفر بآياتنا وقال لأوتين مالا وولدا.
Translate that.
Did you see that one who disbelieved in our miracles and he said he will be given money and offspring?
So you're asking basically, أرأيت, did you see? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they said again, there's the result. Read the next ayah. Start with Hamzat al-Qat. سؤال, wondering, questioning. أطلع الغيب. أطلع الغيب. Did he see the unseen? You see, subhanallah, the questioning and the wondering Hamzat, it always comes as a result of something that's almost impassable. Almost impassable, or sometimes human nature, sometimes we use it sometimes for passable things too. Are you serious? You want me to go and do that? Okay, yallah. I'm doing it, but I'm just feeling I can't believe I'm doing it. So you're not actually you're not doing it with your consciousness. Yani, sure, nothing's gonna happen. Should we do that? Are you sure? That's istifham. You're able to do it sometimes, but it's not right. So that's the original verb. Last question, I think As-Saffat 153. Open Surah As-Saffat 153. As-Saffat 153. I think As-Saffat 153. Read that. You got it, Samar. Abu Samar, huh? Dr. Salah Abu Samar.
Yes, 150.
You got it, 153.
Yes.
Read it out loud, inshallah. Start from 152 with Tajweed.
طلب الله إنهم لكاذبون أصطفى البنات على البنين.
حسبك. You see that? It's a question. You see the point of علم المقامات. you apply the content, like the context, like the meaning. Like when you read like a question, make me feel it's a question. أصطفى البنات على البنين.
أصطفى البنات على البنين.
Yeah, because if you say أصطفى البنات على البنين.
أصطفى.
Not أصطفى. That's بدل.
أصطفى البنات على البنين.
أصطفى البنات
أصطفى
على البنين.
البنات على
That's right.
البنين.
You see that? You feel it's a question. أصطفى البنات على البنين. Did Allah prefer the females over males? That's how we were supposed to read it. So, also, any other example, استكبرت أم كنت من العالين, anything that you see in the Quran. So this is the original verb. How do we do it in the Quran? همزة القطع. You add همزة القطع, which is like the questioning and the wondering hamza. How do we do it? This is how we are going to write it down. We put همزة القطع, and then same thing, we put the same example. hamzat are, subhanallah, very deep topic, you know. A lot of people, they think the hamzat, they're just like easy, but they're not easy. Huh?
No, the fourth example comes in which surah?
استكبرت أم كنت من الكافرين أبا آدم استكبرت أم كنت من الكافرين قال ما منعك أن تسجد لما خلقت بيدي استكبرت أم كنت من الكافرين. Whoever wins. قال ما منعك, which surah? قال ما منعك أن تسجد لما خلقت بيدي استكبرت أم كنت من. I have a prize for you.
Which surah that is?
Yeah.
راحت والسورة. Think about it. Huh? قال, it's mentioned more than twice. قال يا إبليس ما منعك.
الكهف.
No.
ها?
الكهف.
mention the ayah.
قال أنا خير منه خلقته من نار.
The first one, قال ما منعك أن تسجد لما خلقت بيدي. The other one, قال يا إبليس ما منعك أن تسجد. ها? Think about it. أنت قرأتها أكثر من مرة.
قال أنا خير منه خلقته.
The story of Iblis and Adam, where is it mentioned? Only specific places. Surah Al-Baqarah.
البقرة doesn't have استكبرت.
But it doesn't have that.
Surah Al-Baqarah.
البقرة doesn't have this استكبرت.
Yes.
No, استكبر.
I'm mentioning the locations of the story.
I'm talking about this.
It
Oh,
has
no.
a story. It has a story. To
The story. Let's think about the story. The story is mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf, mentioned in Al-Kahf, Al-Baqarah. That's not mentioned. The other two places. Maryam mentioned the story of Adam and Shaitan. You're close. Huh? Who said Sad? You said Sad?
By mistake.
You said Sad? You said Sad, Abdul Nasser? Who said Sad? That's right. Somebody from there said Sad.
Yeah, but that's all it means.
Surah Sad. Surah Sad, actually, it's the only surah that explained, and also Surah Al-A'raf. Al-A'raf. So these are the four locations mentioned the story of Adam and Shaitan. Surah Sad, it is the surah that actually explained the story in details. Like, you know, subhanallah, معها إسهاب وتفصيل, so many details. And the second surah is Al-A'raf. The third one is Surah Al-Baqarah. The fourth one is just really quick, Surah Al-Kahf. You're done? So, going back to this to these examples, look what we do. So, the verb by itself always starts with همزة الوصل مكسورة. افترى, هو افترى علي. When you say iftara, you don't say iftara. That's qatl. You say if. You jump to the fa. That's why it's called hamzat wasl. Iftara. But if you say Ahmed, do you say Ahmed, or you say Ahmed?
From Khalid, you say.
Huh?
Coming from the Khalid, you say.
That's Hamad. That's Hamad. That's
Khalid, that's what it is.
So, when you say Ahmed, you say Ahmed. Ahmed, you don't say Ahmed. Unless you're from Tunis. Ahmed, Hidayah. That's different. Okay. Because they don't pronounce the Hamza anyways. The verb, you don't pronounce the Hamza. Iftara, ittala'a, ittala'a, istafa, istakbart, istakbarta, istakbara. It's a verb, istakbara. So in the Quran, if you have these verbs, if you have any verb that starts with Hamzat al-Wasl, and then the Hamzat al-Qat' comes before that Hamza, before this Alif, what do? This is how it's supposed to be. That's the correct way. This is how you're supposed to write it down. I challenge you right now, Abdul Nasser, to read this. The first word. Read it. You have Hamza with Fatha and then Hamza with Kasra. Yeah, they're not sakinin, so it's easy. The Arabic language, like we don't meet between two sakinin, but it's okay to meet up two mutaharrikain. Fatha and Kasra. How do you say it? افترى على الله كذبا. The second one, Umair.
اطلع
Nurshin. اطلع. Okay. انصار. اصطفى. القلب. استكبرت. That's the correct way. So, what did they do? Al-Arab, long time ago, if they have a verb starting with Hamzat al-Wasl and Hamzat al-Qat' comes before that, they do not say Hamzat al-Wasl. It's correct. We say it outside of the Quran. When? Just for confirmation. أَإِفْتَرَيْتَ ذَلِكَ أَإِفْتَرَيْتَ That's just like, just kind of to make it more shocking. You're just like so surprised. But it's hard. So Al-Arab, they don't say it long time ago. They eliminate the Hamzat al-Wasl. They just eliminate this. You see the verb by itself, it starts with kasra. And right now it starts with what? Fatha. Hamzat qat' with fatha. So the verb originally starts with Hamzat wasl and kasra, and right now it starts with Hamzat qat' and fatha. So if you read this, iftara, it doesn't mean a question. You're not asking. You're not wondering. You see that? If you say it this way, you're not wondering, you're not questioning anything. If you say it with Hamzat al-qat', you are wondering, you're questioning. Aftara, that's how you say it. You say it with a surprise. Istafa, like astafa, attala'a, astakbarta. That's with Hamzat al-qat'. Hamzat al-qat' always comes when you read anything in the Quran with Hamzat al-qat' at the beginning of a verb. You have to show that it's a question. Do not say attala al-ghayba. You know why? Some of the ulama of the Tajweed, they said it is haram. It is haram to read some of these ayats just like normally without changing the tone. How? Let me tell you. Attala al-ghayb. Attala al-ghayb. What do you understand? I'm saying he knows the unseen. He knows al-ghayb. You see the sound, the tone? Attala al-ghayb. You see that? Subhanallah, if you notice. That's the importance of ilm al-maqamat. You are reading it correctly. I'm not making any mistake in Tajweed. You're not making any mistake. Let's say your breath cuts off, and you cannot continue. And you say, Attala al-ghayb. You are confirming that human being, he knows the ghayb. You see, subhanAllah, you change the meaning of the ayah just by the tone. How do you say it? Every time you read the ayat like that in the Quran, you don't read it normally. The Attala al-ghayb. No. When you come to this ayah, you have to show it's a question. Attala al-ghayb. Attala al-ghayb. You feel like, you're wondering. Attala al-ghayb. When you're asking a question, you're supposed to say it however you ask any question. هل فعلت كذا? Did you do that? أطلع الغيب. أطلع الغيب. You're just surprised. Because if you say أطلع الغيب, you are confirming that person, he knows the غيب. So That's all
The
about
Hamza
like
itself is Hamza istifham.
Huh? Hamza.
But the Hamza itself is Hamza istifham.
Yes, that's right. That's correct. Hamza istifham. Perfect.
It's a Hamza.
But the tone makes you
The
feel.
tone make you wonder, yeah,
Ah.
but I mean that
صحيح. Dr. Salah is saying like the Hamza, it's, anyways, the Hamza, it's istifham, it's a questioning Hamza. It's correct. But you know, I'm just saying some of the ulama, they're just so strict about the way you recite the Quran. Because not everybody knows it's Hamza istifham. Right now, you know it's Hamza istifham if I recite that in front of you, and you know it's Hamza istifham. But if I recite that ayah in front of someone else, he doesn't know it's Hamza istifham. Not everybody knows that. That's why it's farad ayn to learn these stuff. Huh? If I recite that, أطلع الغيب. Oh, that guy, he knows the ghaib. But you guys know it's Hamza istifham. But not everybody knows. So that's how it is. So the verb by itself, it starts with Hamza wasl maksura. When you have Hamza qat, the questioning Hamza, you eliminate the Hamza al-wasl and you just put the Hamza al-qat on top of the alif maftuha. So that's Hamza al-qat, the questioning Hamza. Right now,
Always Hamza al-wasl should be maftuha or sometimes can be madmuma or anything else.
we are going to explain that. In the type of these verbs, it has to be maksura.
Yeah, that's right.
Maksura.
Yeah, okay.
افترى اطلع اصطفى استكبر. The second case دخول همزة القطع.
أظن افعل افعل أو استفعل
افعل. الأمر. So just keep it like maksura. We are going to study some other cases inshallah. So the second one is دخول همزة القطع. When همزة القطع comes before همزة الوصل. In لام التعريف, we studied لام التعريف. Remember لام التعريف? Do you remember لام التعريف نورشين? لام التعريف?
You always pronounce it?
The لام التعريف. Do you know the لام التعريف?
Yes.
ها سارة. Remember the لام التعريف?
Yes, yes. Lam sakina that
Comes before what? Before the noun.
to make it known.
To make it known. You remember that, right? And how many types it has? 4 or 3?
2.
All right. Okay. What are they? Huh? You give me one type and Tara gives me another type. The first, al-Ta'rif. The first one, the first type of al-Ta'rif. We have 2. They're famous. They're like linked to different, they're like linked to 2 things in the slide. The first one? Shamsiyah, Lam al-Shamsiyah. The other one is Lam al-Qamariyah. So, what about if Hamzat al-Qat', the questioning Hamza, comes before that Hamza? Because Lam al-Ta'rif, remember, like Lam al-Ta'rif, it looks like that, right? It comes before the noun. Look, you always see that alif with little sad. That's Hamzat wasl. So Lam al-Ta'rif has Hamzat wasl, right? So what happens if Hamzat al-Qat', the cut, Hamza al-Qat', comes before the alif lam, al? What do we do? They say, al-Arab, leave the Hamzat wasl first. They leave it as it is. Then replace it with Hamzat Qat' substitution, al-Badal. Remember the Badal, Mr. The Badal. Can you give me an example of al-Badal? Yusuf, al-Badal. Remember the substitution? The Badal? Last Friday, huh? An example for the Badal. What's the Badal? What's the Hamzat Badal?
Well, you take the...
What's the definition of Hamzat Badal? Hamzat Badal Aba Adam.
Replacing the second Hamza.
The definition of Hamzat Badal.
It's replacing the second Hamza. With
Not what do we do with it. What's the definition of it?
Badal is substitution Hamza.
Listen.
Connecting two Hamza with the second Hamza has the sakna.
It's basically to Hamazat, the Badal. Yes.
Yeah.
To Hamazat, the first one is Sakina or the second one is Sakina?
Second.
Second one is Sakina, the first one is Mutaharrika. What do we do with it?
You replace it with harf madda, mumathil.
We replace the first one or the second one?
Second.
The second one. Give me an example for Badal. Imana. That's right. What did you replace? You picked like a hard one. Perfect, mashallah, that's good, mashallah. Yeah, I was afraid you didn't answer that, why you answered. That's amazing. آمنوا.
This is عوض, not better.
لا لا, the first hamza, إيمانا. إيمانا, the first one.
Yeah, but the mad is called not the عوض, not better.
We're talking about the hamza, not the last sound. إيمانا. We're not talking about that. We're talking about إيمانا. ألف and ya. The ya is not original. إيمان. It's أأمينا. إيمانا. The ya in this word إيمانا. The ya is not original. Do you remember that? The ya is not original. What was in the place of the ya? What was in there before the ya? How? What type of hamza? Are you sure? That's right, mashallah. Okay. So, anyway, so what do we do? They say, ألا التعريف, the شمسية القمرية. If Hamza al-Qat', the questioning Hamza or the wondering Hamza, comes before ألا التعريف, we have two options. They say Al-Arab long time ago, they made the rule. They say they leave the Hamza al-Wasl as it is, and then they replace it with Hamzat Qad', substitution, badal. Or, it's basically to make it easy to read. Or, Hamzat al-Tasheel. It's called Hamzat al-Tasheel. So, right now, if you look here.
How they leave it and then replace it?
Like they don't delete it. They say it, they mention it. I'm going to show you right now. It's kind of confusing, but I'm going to put the examples and you will understand right now. And this one, if you can read this word, الذكرين. الذكرين. We are going to pick the first option, al-badal, Hamzat al-badal. This is how we are going to الذكرين. And you add here the Hamzat al-badal. So did you eliminate the alif?
No.
So you did not eliminate the alif. They just leave it there.
Okay.
And they just add here. They say replacing it, but I know this terminology replacing it is not correct. But you know amanu, the word amanu? Amanu. What's this? It's Hamzat Wasl basically. Originally it's Hamzat Wasl. They leave it. So they replace it with badal. So you put everything as it is, and you put Hamzat al-Qat' in the beginning. Hamzat al-Badal. Hamzat badal. And what we do here, we are going to study why. When you do this, and these are the only three examples you will see in the Quran. You have here mad lazim. استنكار كبير جدا. Like, how do you say استنكار كبير? Like, huge, like, you're just like shocked. So this mad came only in specific places in the Quran. These places. That's one of them. الذكرين الذكرين حرم أم الأنثيين الذكرين. That's the first option. If you have the ألا التعريف and the questioning Hamza comes before ألا التعريف, which means you have Hamzat Wasl, and you will have Hamzat al-Qat' here before. You just leave Hamzat al-Wasl as it is. Just replace Hamzat al-Wasl with mad. You add the mad and put the Hamzat al-Qat' badal at the beginning. That's the first option. The second option,
Can we just, instead of replace, we say place Hamza qat in front of it. Instead of replace it. You don't replace it. You put Hamza qat in front of the Hamza al-Wasl.
change it. We can.
Place Hamza qat in front of it.
So you want then
Yeah,
we
instead
change
of
it.
replace.
Let's say we change it to Hamzat al-Badal. We change it, right? Just change the Hamzat al-Wasl to al-Badal. To Hamzat al-Badal.
Okay.
Al-Badal. Okay. That's the first option. The second option in Arab, and this is correct. In Warsh and also in different Qurra, they don't make mad here. Hafs, you actually stretch this. الذكرين حرم.
So it's not like badal to harakat?
Huh?
It's
No.
lazim,
Yes.
6 harakat.
Yes. And here is, because remember the Hamza here, we say it looks like mad al-badal, but is it badal? Are you informing me? Like, are you saying a statement or are you questioning?
Question.
So it's not Hamza badal. It looks like Hamza badal. Why? Because the location, it came at the beginning of the word. If it's badal, if it's like completely mad badal, I said Hamza badal, not mad badal. Mad badal, yes. Mad badal is different from Hamza badal. Mad badal, only harakatayn. Mad al badal, mad. But this Hamza is called Hamza badal. Why? Because you remember, like we played with it, right? In the Mad al Badal, when we studied Mad al Badal. So this one basically is not original. We put it there, Mad al Badal. So Mad al Badal is only harakatayn, and you are saying a statement. You're not questioning. You take that Hamza. It looks like Mad Badal here because it came first here. It came at the beginning of the word. But it's not Hamza Badal. It's a questioning Hamza. But it looks like badal. Al-Dhakaraini, that's the first option how you read that. The second option, you read it without the mad. It looks like 99% mad badal. This is how it looks like. And sometimes you will see this huge dark circle. Huh?
Yes.
Sometimes you see this huge dark circle on top of the alif. Without the mad, the first option you read it with the mad. الذكرين. The second option without mad. Sometimes you see this. Some of the Masahib, they see some dots like that. I'm not sure if you have seen it. You've seen? Yeah, some dots like that. It means
What does it mean?
this is not like mad badal. It's just like istifham. If you see this dot in the Quran, it looks like mad badal. But it's not mad badal.
One of the mushaf will be mushaf worse or mushaf different.
I've seen it in many masahibs, but Allahu alam if they have it here in the masahib. But if you see that dot, it's not mad badal. It is a questioning. So they just, if you don't want to stretch al-dhakarain, the question, you can just stretch the question, the hamza, like the mad, you can make the mad al-dhakarain. Al-dhakarain. So these are the two options. The second example that you will see in the Quran, al-ana. 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 Basically, alif lam, al-ta'rif. Some of them, they think al-ana, is it dharf or noun? That's a tricky question. Al-an, I did that now. Is that dharf? Now, adverb?
Al-ana is that question.
لا hold on without التعريف hold on. Let's discuss that. That's beautiful. Let me tell you. الآن means in English now. I'm doing that now. Now it's an adverb, like it's just I'm doing it now, right now. It refers to some time and location. Here, I'm doing it right now, right here. An adverb. So it's not like a noun. التعريف comes at the beginning of the noun. الآن أبا آدم.
الآن لا أعرف.
So this one is not الآن, it's not now. This one أنا. It's not part. Remember, like التعريف is not part of the word. You can take it out. أنا. It's not الآن. That's different word. الآن different word. أنا, it's a different word. أنا.
أنا mean it's about time.
أيوة. أنا. Time. So الآن, it's mentioned only twice in the Quran. You will see it. What do we do? الآن, the time. If you have a question, Hamza, questioning Hamza, the same thing, you will do the same thing here, right here. الآن or the تسهيل, همزة التسهيل. So this one is called همزة البدل because it looks like a بدل, and this one همزة التسهيل. If you see the همزة and a huge circle, dark circle, like dark dot on top of the alif, it's called همزة التسهيل. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, same thing. Allahu khayrun amma yushrikun. Or with Hamza al-Tasheer.
You said way back, Hamzatul Wasl comes in Quran with alif with a soft sign,
Swat sign.
or simple alif,
Yes.
and alif with a dot. Is it alif with a dot?
That's right. That's right. I said alif with a dot. That's right. But it's called here, like this is Hamza Tasheer, and this is you leave it just like as it is.
This is right. This is not sukun. It's نقطة.
It's not sukun.
Yeah,
It's
this
like
is
نقطة.
It's like a dot.
Wasl. I mentioned that. You wrote that down, right?
Yeah, because like wasl have صاد. This is not sukun.
I think when I defined it, هذه, this is like Hamza wasl, like wasl. It's not sukun. Wasl. So right now, if you think about,
Nuqta.
I wrote it down.
No, you said Hamzatul Wasl have three signs. One with the dark circle.
Dark circle. Okay, I mentioned it.
Yes.
So right now, if you think about it, right now, Hamzat al-Qat', we have like Hamzat al-Qat', that the questioning Hamza before the verb. If it comes before the verb without looking at the board, how do we do it? We eliminate the Hamzat al-Wasl, the maksura, and we replace it with Hamzat Qat' maftuha. And if it comes before al-ta'rif, what do we, just like try to summarize that right now, the whole thing, it's easy. If it comes before the verb, we eliminate the hamzat al-wasl of the verb and we replace it with hamzat qat' maftuha. And if it comes at the beginning of al-ta'rif, al-shamsiyya or qamariya, it doesn't matter, what do? We have two options, either like, we like in both options we add the hamza at the beginning, and hamzat al-wasl, either we just put mad on top of it, mad, or like a dark dot. The first one, if you add the mad, you have to stretch. The second one is just like to make you think, hey, it's not badal. It's not badal. It is questioning, it's wondering. Alif, it's wondering hamza. Add the karain. So right now, the third case is when the hamzatul qat' comes before hamzat al-wasl in nouns. So right now we have verb, al-ta'rif, and then nouns. If you can write down that, same thing. When hamzat qat', when the hamzat al-qat' comes before hamzat al-wasl in nouns. And this one basically, you won't see it in Quran, but since we are talking about hamazat, I prefer to cover everything about hamazat, so you know everything about the hamazat. So when the hamzat al-qat' comes before hamzat al-wasl of a noun, what do we do? The rule, we're not going to put that on the board, you will write that down. If hamzat al-qat' comes before the beginning of a noun with hamzat al-wasl, تسقط همزة الوصل. You eliminate همزة الوصل. You delete همزة الوصل خطا ولفظا, in writing and pronunciation.
You eliminate hamzatul.
You eliminate, if that happens, if this case happens, you eliminate همزة الوصل in writing and pronunciation. You don't pronounce it, you do not write it. But you see here, like we write it down with همزة الوصل. We write it down. But in this case, you delete that, you eliminate it like in writing, also in pronunciation. And you keep همزة القطع مفتوحة. And you keep همزة القطع with فتحة. Examples. This is like really tough.
أسماء
Hold on. Give me the original word. What's the original noun?
أسماء.
That's qata. That's qata. So the case here is if hamzatul qata comes at the beginning of a noun that starts with hamzat wasl. Give me a noun that starts with hamzat wasl.
إيمان.
That's qata.
No,
Huh?
إيمان.
Imani. That's qata. The sound is qata.
إيمان. إيمان. No, how آمنوا إيمانا.
Iman. Iman. Is it qata or wasl? How do you write down iman? Is that qata or wasl?
That's qata. If you write it that way.
Qata.
If you write it this way, yeah.
It is qata.
If you do it this way, yes. If you put the hamza there, it's yes.
So what's the right way to okay.
That's one way of writing iman, yeah.
So this is basically in Quran. This is how it's written down. Badal.
But
قطع.
talk about ism, not about fa'al.
لا لا إيمان the اسم. إيمان it's a noun.
Iman is the name of a person.
Yeah. Okay, it's a noun. With همزة قطع. You cannot say that's not correct. Why? That's a different topic in Arabic. You look back at the verb, the past verb. If it's 4 letters, آمن. ها. How many letters do you have?
4.
So الهمزة it has to be قطع, no matter what. That's a grammar in Arabic. If the past tense of the verb is 4 letters, رباعي, كل كلمة, any word that you write from, like anything that's related to this word, it has to have همزة قطع. الإيمان, إيمان. That's a قاعدة. So, give me a noun with همزة وصل. Give me a noun with همزة وصل. That's a challenge.
إلى.
إلى? What does that mean?
إلاف or إله إله يعني تأجيل إله إلاف يعني كمان اسم
إلى خماسي واحد اثنين. What's the past tense of إلى?
past tense آلة هذا يقول إله.
How many words? That doesn't sound correct, like إلى. I'm going to give you the names. The first name is... Huh? Who said? Somebody said the word here. Perfect.
Yeah.
الأسماء الخمسة.
Yeah.
الأسماء الخمسة. Ibn. Did you check my notes or? So the examples for that, الأسماء الخمسة, أسماء الخمسة, like 5 names in Arabic. We have something that's called 5 names in Arabic. Ibn, Ibna, like, I'm going to put that in here, inshallah. Examples. So you say, زوجة أخي ولدت ابنا. The wife, like, delivered a baby, like a boy, ibna. And when you're surprised, what do you say? You don't say ibna. What did we say? This is like very tough. Ibnan. You eliminate the hamzat al-wasl. What do you say?
Abnan.
That's right. Abnan. Abnan. This is one of the things that most of those educated people, they never heard of. So right now, you know, it's really tough. Abnan, that's the correct way how you ask. زوجتي ولدت ابنا. Abnan, asman.
Female will be Abnatan.
Abnatan. It sounds weird because people they're not used to it. If you say this in front of any Arabic person, they will say, "Are you crazy? Like, what are you talking
He's
about?"
been here for 20 years. He doesn't know Arabic anymore.
That's right. So yeah, subhanAllah, if you write that down, or if you text them like, they think you don't know. Okay, but this is the right way. That's the proper Arabic. Abnatan. And then if you want to go back, زوجتي ولدت ابنة. أبنة أبنة يعني هل هي فتاة؟ The hamza, it's hamza istifham. It's not just like another kind of any other hamza. It's not hamza just qat' or badal or anything. No, it's hamza istifham. أبنة Subhanallah. يعني it's people that are not used to listening to these sounds. أبنة, أسمن, أبنا, but that's the correct way. Try to speak to anybody like who thinks he's good in Arabic, and he will be shocked. So to summarize everything about Hamzat al-Qat', when the Hamzat al-Qat' comes on before Hamzat al-Wasl, we are going to summarize. When the Hamzat al-Qat' comes before the Hamzat al-Wasl, in nouns and also verbs, what do we do? In verbs and also in nouns, what do we do? In verbs and also in nouns. Do you see like the Hamza, the questioning Hamza in here?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it almost similar to the questioning Hamza in here? In the verbs, nouns and verbs, they look similar, right? So, دخول همزة القطع على همزة الوصل. The summary is in verbs and nouns, تسقط همزة الوصل خطا ولفظا. We delete همزة الوصل in writing and pronunciation. In verbs and nouns. Verbs and nouns, when you put the questioning hamza, the qat' questioning hamza, you eliminate همزة الوصل completely. Pronunciation and writing, you eliminate that. And in lam al-ta'rif, do we eliminate همزة الوصل? No. We leave همزة الوصل and we just like alter it, like with two options. Hamzat badal, we add Hamzat badal, or Hamzat tasheel, the easy Hamza. What did you write?
I don't know.
So, can you tell me the summary? Let's see. Who knows right now the summary, like, completely? The summary of if Hamzat al-Qat' comes before Hamzat al-Wasl. Anybody's ready to just like summarize that into sentences? I'm going to start. In verbs and nouns, we eliminate Hamzat al-Wasl completely. And we put Hamzat al-Qat' with Fatha. In Lam al-Ta'rif, we don't eliminate Hamzat al-Wasl. We keep Hamzat al-Wasl. We just manipulate Hamzat al-Wasl in two options. To add Hamzat badal, which is also Hamzat, not mad badal. Hamzat badal, but it's questioning Hamza, or without badal, Hamzat tasheel, easy Hamza. I'm done. Anybody memorize that? Try that.
Okay, so
You have three things. Nouns, like nouns. Let's start from the top. Nouns, verbs, and lam al-ta'rif. Okay, summarize that.
okay, if in noun and verb, you eliminate the hamzat al-wasl
Completely, yes.
Yeah.
What do you replace it with?
You replace it with the maftuha.
Hamzat qat'. Yes, you add hamzat qat'. Maftuha. Perfect. And here in lam al-ta'rif?
Lam al-ta'rif, either or, you have two options. You can do.
Do you delete hamzat al-wasl or no?
No, you don't delete it.
You keep it.
You can replace it, or you can change it to.
You just manipulate it, but you don't. It's right there. It's still there. Hamzat al-wasl is there. The alif.
So you can do al-badal or tasheel.
That's it. That's easy, يعني. Yeah. Do not forget that. Umar, can you repeat that? Tell me what.
I'm writing. I'm still writing.
Abu Sarah, can you summarize?
Summarize everything.
Yes, really quick. We have verbs, nouns, and al-ta'rif.
Okay, verbs and nouns. We in verbs and nouns we change.
What do we do first with Hamzat al-Wasl and verbs and nouns?
We eliminate it as
writing and pronunciation.
Writing and pronunciation, and replace it with Hamzat wasl maftuha.
Hamzat wasl qata'
Hamzat qat' maftuha
with fatha.
Yeah.
And لام التعريف. Do we erase همزة الوصل or
لام
leave
التعريف
it?
we just
Leave همزة الوصل.
leave همزة الوصل
We
and
just manipulate
manipulate it with بدل
Either
or
بدل
تسهيل.
or تسهيل. ها أنوف.
Right, so for nouns and verbs, we eliminate the hamzatul wasl and add hamzatul qasr with fatha. And lam al-ta'rif, we keep that, but we add hamzatul qasr on front of that. There are two options, hamzatul badal or tasheer.
He wasn't clear.
This one is elimination of hamza wasl.
Eliminate همزة الوصل.
Yeah, and then put hamza qata to fatha.
For what types? Verb or noun or التعريف?
Verb on and noun.
Verbs and nouns.
Yeah,
We eliminate همزة الوصل completely.
complete.
And we just add همزة القطع والفتحة.
Fatha. But this one we don't.
What's this one? What is it?
The lam ta'rif.
التعريف, yes. What do we do with همزة الوصل?
We don't eliminate hamza wasl.
We do not eliminate همزة الوصل. We leave it. We just have two options. Either to make it بدل, kind of we manipulate and add همزة بدل, which is همزة questioning همزة, or همزة تسهيل, the easy همزة, just to make them easy to read, to pronounce.
Two options. Yeah.
Two options. Ahmad, can you summarize that? Let me see.
Okay, so in verbs and nouns, we completely eliminate hamza wasl and pronunciation and writing, and we add hamza qata with waqtu. In lam al-tarif, you don't delete hamza wasl. You manipulate it by either adding hamza badal or tasheer.
Perfect, mashallah. Nourshi.
And nouns, we eliminate the hamza wasl completely and replace it with hamza qata or with fatha.
Perfect.
And in case of lam al-tarif, we keep the hamza wasl, manipulate it by either adding the hamza badal or hamza tasheer.
Perfect, mashallah. Tala. Verbs and nouns. Verbs and nouns. Do we eliminate همزة الوصل or we keep it? Eliminate that completely. What do we replace it with? What do we add or what do we replace it with? So when you eliminate همزة الوصل in nouns and verbs, what do you keep there? همزة القطع with فتحة or كسرة or ضمة or سكون maybe. فتحة. Good. And التعريف. التعريف. It's al that comes before the nouns. If you have التعريف, التعريف it starts with alif with همزة وصل. If همزة القطع comes before همزة الوصل, do we eliminate همزة الوصل here in التعريف or no? Huh? Yes, we don't delete that, right? We just keep it. We keep همزة الوصل. But what do? We just alternate or like manipulate with two options. What's the first option? It's called همزة what? Huh? همزة. Read that. همزة. بدل. And this one همزة تسهيل. Can you read that? تسهيل. The بدل همزة or the تسهيل? So inshallah I think we're not done with the همزة. So let me tell you something. We're done with همزة القطع. So we haven't spoken about همزة الوصل yet. I just gave you like a glimpse of همزة الوصل. So next time we are going to speak about همزة الوصل, about همزة الوصل. Inshallah. So I was trying to cover Hamzat al-Wasl and al-Qat'a tonight, but it's too much for you. So inshallah next time we are going to discuss Hamzat al-Wasl inshallah.
You put that in the group too? You put that in the group too?
You gotta ask him because he said I keep it private. And if you need it, you can ask him. And then you can send it. He says like some people are not coming because it's kind of insensitive to come to the class. But if you need like a note, you can ask him, or you can just text message to the group, and then I'll just share a link.
Well, my sister's in 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay.